Good evening, Cecil TV. I'm Grant Handley, your political correspondent. Well, the 2024 primary season was one very unprecedented and with lots of public participation from a diverse group of voters. Whether you were young, old, new to voting, or a frequent voter, the 2024 primary was one with active engagement. Now that the dust is settled, voters still have a choice in deciding their new county executive. Today, I'm here with Democratic nominee for Cecil County Executive, Bill Kilby. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, sir. Bill, I know who you are. Everybody here at Cecil TV are pretty familiar with you. For people who may not know you, who is Bill Kilby and why are you running for county executive?
Well, obviously I'm a Democrat, and I think that the Cecil County needs a real choice. Politics have reached the point of diversion that Republicans and Democrats are widely separated. And I believe that the county has not, I believe that the job of the county executive is to deliver on services, not make necessarily tax rebates. So I'm looking at the job differently, and I've had 50 years of management of people and millions of dollars. Neither one, the new candidate, Adam Straight, has no real management skill. I mean, as far as on the job managing people or millions of dollars. And so I think I am probably well qualified to do the job. In addition to my business, I'm a retired dairy farmer. I also ran a nonprofit, the Cecil Land Trust, for 25 years. And so I especially have a strong feeling towards volunteers, people who volunteer, and their nonprofits. And I don't think they're getting the kind of interest from the county government that they should be.
Thanks for watching Cecil TV, a production of Cecil Public Media. You know, we produce candidate interviews and cover local elections as a public service. It's our contribution to the democratic process that we all cherish. You should also know that the making of this program and all of our programming costs money to produce and takes many hours by volunteers who believe our community benefits from a free local news source like Cecil TV. If you agree with this, then we urge you to subscribe to our newsletter, make a financial contribution, or contact us about how you might get involved with Cecil Public Media. Thanks.
Can you quickly just explain what the Cecil Land Trust is and some of the things that they had done?
Well, the Cecil Land Trust is a nonprofit whose concept we started out preserving farm and forest land. And especially in this area of Cecil County, it's historically it was the Nottingham lots. And so our rural legacy area stretches from Rising Sun to Fair Hill. And it's really good land. And so we are interested in not only the land, but in the farmers who farm it. So what we're interested in is sustainability of farms.
That's
and we also do stream restoration work, which we worked with the town of Northeast on some stream restoration, a stream restoration project.
That's interesting. Thank you, Bill. Bill, as we approach Election Day, in your opinion, what are the most critical issues facing Cecil County?
Well, one of the things I think is I saw it restoring funding to the schools. So the current county executive has given tax rebates in the form of about $1,000, to property owners. Well, there are 15,000 students in Cecil County, and if we just use that $1,000 per head, we could put $15 million back in the school budget. Instead of giving it as a tax rebate, it doesn't really make sense, because the job of the county executive is to manage the county and to provide services that the county people need. And the schools are probably the most important thing. Some other minor things are the road system needs to be taken better care of. The libraries need to be taken care of better. And so, there are a lot of other things that need to be done, but the primary thing is the school budget.
So I'll jump around because you were talking about the school issue, and that was a pressing issue in the, primary race on the Republican end. And your opponent, Adam Straight, was also pro school funding, and you and Adam found yourself on the same side of that issue, going against the current administration. So leaving national politics aside, what distinguishes you from Mr. Straight going into this election?
As far as the school is concerned, I have a figure I know that the school system needs. Adam has talked about negotiating with the with the school administration on funding. Well, in reality, what we really need to do as a manager, I know that this drama that came up at the last minute concerning the school funding the schools all the way up to the June budget deadline didn't need to happen at all. A county executive should be meeting with all department heads at least once every 2 weeks, let's say, and probably more than that. So when the time to pass the budget comes, it's already been figured out. I mean, everybody knows, the department heads, the county executive, the citizens know that what's going to happen.
Right.
So this drama was all politics, and so that's the real problem, is that the system has been politicized, and it doesn't need to be politicized. This should be, county executives should be looking at the welfare of the county.
Bill, I want to take a second and move to economic growth in Cecil County. That's another hot topic issue as we approach the election. You have stated that you would like to create a strategic plan for economic growth. Can you contrast what desirable growth looks like compared to undesirable growth, and how will we achieve the desirable growth that you're looking for?
Well, I can tell you the reason I pushing this strategy idea is that the agricultural community, the Cecil Land Trust, and the county government at that time went together to form a task force to come up with ways that agriculture could be more sustainable in Cecil County. The end result is they came up with 5 recommendations, which were all implemented. And today, the county is one of the few counties in the state that has a growth in its agricultural community, which is, the last census showed, there's a census every 5 years, and the last one was done for agriculture was in 2022, and it showed an $80 million growth with 79 new farms. So citizens of Cecil County, not only do we have that growth, but they have a choice of where they can buy on-farm products directly from the farm. It's a value-added type of concept. So my idea is, instead of the county executive deciding what the growth should look like, we should have these task force approaches where people from various businesses come together and they look at ways to do that. So I'm advocating task force for different sectors of the county economy, because we've about done the warehouse thing, and so we really need to look at some other alternatives. And the reason I can't actually feel that the county executives should make that decision require a lot of electricity and a lot of water. So we could, that's going the technical route with data centers and chip manufacturing. And we may not want to do that in Cecil County, but it's an alternative, and we need alternatives to warehousing.
I want to expand on your task force idea, Bill. What do you have in mind for a type of task force? People from Cecil County in various private, municipal, public sectors, or what is a Bill Kilby County Executive Task Force for Economic Development look to you in terms of membership?
The membership of this, the one we did for agriculture, we hired a consultant, a person an economic development director type, who knew what kind of questions to ask. And so then we brought in different people, for instance, Bob Crouch of the funeral home in Northeast was on it. So we brought in different people with different interests. There were some realtors, and there were some farmers, and just a general kind of cross-section of the county. So that, by doing that, that kind of alleviates a lot of criticism the county executive would get for not being broad-minded enough to think about a strategic plan. So,
upon the task force final deliverable, would they bring recommendations to you or to the council for what should or shouldn't be done, or would they work with your economic development office?
Well, they ultimately would need to come to the county council because what we did in agriculture, we a simple, well, I don't know whether it's simple, but what we did was ultimately make it so that farms could process and sell products directly from the farm without changing the zoning to commercial. Okay, so it was still farm,
right,
on-farm processing, and that's one of the important things is zoning, of course, and how people accept that. And we did what's called a right to farm law, which means that at night when you hear the tractor running outside your door, you'll understand that the farmer is, trying to get this work done before it rains or whatever.
Right.
So there's a right to farm law, and I guess one of the more important things is that it also called for an agricultural. We called it an agricultural coordinator within the economic development.
Right.
Sort of like a tourist, we have a tourist person. And we've brought new farms to the county, we've brought added income, and we've brought, a place where people can go out and buy right from the farm. Whether it's dairy, beef,
right,
produce, which is something a lot of counties don't have.
Bill, a quote we hear often in this race is they think the government should be run like a business, okay? Meaning that trying to be more efficient. Businesses have the luxury of hiring and firing as they please. They can make the procurement and purchase obligations any way they want. They don't have to bid it and things like that. But the government also has a responsibility to the welfare of their citizens. So I'm asking you, Bill, what do you mean when you say you'll run the county as a business?
Well, okay. What I didn't do when I was running my business is micromanaged. And so the county actually has a very good group of department heads, which get paid very well and are especially trained in whatever they're particularly doing, whether it's education or whether it's public works. I mean, they're engineers. So I say, instead of what the current administration tries to do is micromanage everything in sort of in a political way, instead of letting those department heads do their thing.
Right.
So what I would do is allow the department heads to come to me as county executive with ideas of what should happen within their department. It's the similar situation of working with them on their budget. I mean, there should be this really good communications between department heads and the county executive. And micromanaging is not something I feel, I know as far as the school system, it hasn't worked. The county executives tried to micromanage the school system instead of leaving the superintendent and the teachers doing what they know what to do.
Bill, as we wrap up today, I want to give you a chance to say any final comments, anything about yourself that you felt like had not been addressed for the voters here as we approach November.
Well, my family has been here, a part of my family, for 300 years. And we've invested a lot in Cecil County, and especially, they were Quakers, especially in the school system. So for instance, at Calvert, where the Calvert School is, there's been a school on that property since 1730. The Quakers built a school, and there's been a school there ever since. So I think that I'm really think that we shouldn't forget our traditions. We've got to support our communities, we've got to support our volunteers and our nonprofits. And I think we have very good communities in Cecil County, and we should take care of them.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard from Bill Kilby, Democratic nominee for Cecil County Executive. I'm Grant Handley. I want to thank you for listening. Bill, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you, Grant.
We really appreciate it.
Okay.
Everybody, have a good night.